Argentina, but he was tiny for his age. Doctors diagnosed him with a growth hormone disorder that stunted his growth. He needed expensive medical injections every night or he might never grow to a normal height. Messi's family couldn't afford the treatment for long, and no local club would cover the cost. Some coaches told him he was just too small to succeed. His future in soccer was in doubt, despite his skill. But on the other side of the world, one club saw something special in him. In 2000, FC Barcelona invited 13-year-old Messi for a trial. Their youth coach watched the little boy dribble through players twice his size. Messi was shy and very small, but his talent was unmistakable. The coach quickly said, "Sign him. Don't even think about it." Barcelona agreed to pay for Messi's treatment and move his family to Spain. They even signed the contract on a napkin that day because they didn't want to wait. Lionel Messi went on to become one of the greatest footballers of all time. In 2022, the kid once called too small led Argentina to win the World Cup. You have to fight to reach your dream. You have to sacrifice and work hard for it. Lionel Messi. His story shows that size and setbacks don't decide your destiny. Your heart and your talent do. If you've been here before, drop a hashtag Believe in the comments below so I can feature you here in a future video. And if you're new, welcome to Believe Nation, the only channel that helps you believe in yourself daily, one video at a time. Believe. Lionel Messi's journey from a fragile, undersized kid to a world champion is a pretty incredible example of overcoming setbacks and turning what most people think is a weakness into a strength. It wasn't easy. He faced painful treatments and doubts from other people and moments of real fear if his future would work out or not, but he never gave up on his dream. So think about that. At 11 years old, Messi stood at 4'4". He had not grown in 2 years, and without that treatment, doctors said he might top out at just 4'7" as an adult. Every night, this little boy had to inject a needle of growth hormone into his legs so he could have a chance at a normal life. That medicine cost over $1,500 each month, and that was money his family did not have. His father was a steel worker, and his mother cleaned part-time, and they struggled desperately to pay for the treatment. One local club, Newell's Old Boys, helped for a while and covered some of the bills, but even they couldn't keep doing it. They weren't willing to invest long-term in such a young, tiny player. No other club in Argentina would pay either. To them, it was too expensive and too risky. There was no guarantee Messi's treatment would make him grow or make him a star. Some thought it just wasn't worth it. So imagine how that would feel for young Lionel, right? To hear that people who should have been in his corner decided he was too small and not worth the cost. His dream was on the line. And it must have been heartbreaking. But despite all of those doubts swirling around him, Messi did not let it stop him. He loved football too much. He was incredibly good at it. His coaches and teammates at the Newell's Old Boys could see his skill whenever he played. He might have been the shortest kid on the pitch, but he was often the most talented. He was scoring hundreds of goals in youth games, leaving the audience in awe. He refused to let his height define him. So every night when he took those injections, he was effectively telling himself, I'm not giving up. I'm going to do whatever it takes to reach my dream. He learned to give himself the shots at age 11, which is a scary thing for a kid, but he did it. And that built up his toughness and his self-reliance. So instead of feeling like a victim of his condition, Messi kept practicing and honing his skills. He stayed focused on the one thing that he could control, his effort on the field. And then when he was 13, that opportunity came from across the ocean. A few people in Barcelona had heard whispers about a tiny boy with giant talent. They saw videotapes of Messi weaving through defenders like magic, and Barcelona's youth academy invited him for a trial. Can you imagine how Messi must have felt flying to a brand new country, hoping that this was his chance? He was shy, he was in a strange new place, and everyone around him in the trial was much bigger than him. And it all came down to this moment. Not just a football career, but the possibility of a normal life for him was on the line. So Messi stepped onto that field in Barcelona and played like his life depended on it. And in a way, it did. He scored 5 goals in the trial game. He dribbled through players nearly twice his size. The ball seemingly glued to his foot as he weaved through defenders. The coaches watching were stunned. Within just a couple of minutes, one of Barcelona's directors was convinced this kid was a rare gem. Messi was the smallest on the pitch by a long shot, but he was also the most spectacular. And the director was so amazed that he took the slow walk around the field to collect himself, and then he immediately told his staff, sign him. Don't even think about it. They didn't want to lose this wonder kid to anyone else. In fact, Barcelona was so eager to secure Messi that they grabbed the nearest piece of paper, which happened to be a simple napkin at the restaurant that evening, and signed a makeshift contract on the spot. That napkin promised that FC Barcelona would pay for Messi's medical treatment and take care of his family as long as he would play for them. Imagine the relief and the joy that Messi and his family felt at that moment. One day, they're on the verge of having to quit the treatment and possibly see Lionel's dream fade away. The next, a world-famous club was saying, "We believe in your son, and we will help him." It was the chance of a lifetime. Messi and his family uprooted their lives and moved to Spain. It was a leap of faith fueled by hope. But even after arriving in Barcelona, the journey wasn't easy. Messi was in a new country, far from all of his relatives and his friends. He was still a small developing kid who had to keep taking his injections and keep proving himself on the field. He missed home, and at one point his mother and siblings actually moved back to Argentina because the adjustment was so hard, leaving Messi in Spain with his father. There were moments of loneliness and homesickness. Many 13-year-olds would have broken down or lost focus, but not Messi. He kept going to training every day, quietly doing the work. His teammates and coaches noticed his determination. He was usually the smallest player in every single match, but he played with a giant heart.